That's it. Officially, YouTube loves me. I I don't know if you're gonna be able to get back in here, but sorry about it. I'm sorry about it. Oh, YouTube. What are you doing to me, YouTube? YouTube, I love you, man. Why you messing with me? You know? Oh, man. Let's see if I can get everything back up and running. Horrific. Horrific. Bring back Second Amendment back to state. Oh, we're getting it done here in Washington State. We're definitely going to fight for it. Man, I don't know what the hell happened, but YouTube kicked me out. It was probably me. Sorry about that, guys. Robert, how are you? There goes the coffee fund. Doggone it. In my defense, it wasn't me. You know what? I maybe somebody that comes in here for the first time that will never notice this mistake, and they will give donations to the coffee fund. Oh man, horrible, horrible. All right, we're back and running again, I guess. All right, Craig Miz, he is back, dressed for success sometimes. I got to be the down to earth guy as well. I can't just always be business, business. It's got to be fun times as well. Plus, as I was saying earlier, I'm just so busy with trying to please the wife and, the dryer and getting this Teflon tape that was such a big deal. But we got it installed. No gas leak, nothing. Dryer's working perfect. Bada bing, bada boom. Now I can spend some time with you here. So thank you so much for joining. We lost Burning 47. I apologize. When you get here, I apologize in advance. Oh, here we go. Robert, welcome back. Omar, born blue deer. I think that's how you say it. Blue deered. 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 One of those. Guys, it is almost, oh my gosh, man. It's 8 o'clock. 8 o'clock at night. This is probably the latest. Maybe not. I've been later on Fridays. But just so you guys know, oh, wait, let me log in to the chat so I can interact with you guys as we are listening to the POTUS. No, this is must have been a GE dryer. No, it's a Maytag. Maytag dryer. Not too fancy, but it's nice. It's not the most expensive. I believe the dryer's price is 1,043. I think it was, plus taxes. Plus taxes. It's 11 p.m. Dummy. Yeah, sorry about that, East Coasters. East Coasters, you are 11 p.m. For me, oh wait, 11. Yeah, yeah. For me, it's only 8. Sorry, you might not be able to stick around too long. I am here. I got to get my water, and I'll be right back. Good to know, sis. Tanya, it's always good to have you, Tanya. You're amazing. You are amazing. Thank you for being here. All right, well, without further ado, what did you have for dinner? Yes, yes. Good question. So we went to Olive Garden. In Olive Garden, I like ordering the seafood Alfredo. It's one of my favorites, seafood Alfredo. And today I ordered shrimp and chicken carbonara with noodles, and I had a garden salad, the house salad. I love their salad; it's so good. I love the vinegar, the oil, all that stuff they put in there is perfect. And the food is good. My wife ordered, what the hell did she order? She ordered the grilled salmon with broccoli, and then I order a shrimp appetizer, which is really like a half a pound of shrimp, and it's all breaded, but it's the onions and the bell peppers and the zucchini, They're also breaded. They're all deep fried. It was very good. It was really good. Very, very good. And I thank you for that as well. So, because even though you guys buy me coffee, at the same time, this is what I do for a living. So, whenever you guys give me money, I give, number one, I give thanks to God and the glory to Him. But also, I am very thankful to you guys. I really am. It's not all the time that I can do that, but here's the funny thing. Hey, Brian, how are you, big bro? Here's the funny thing, Craig. I was still wearing my full suit. Okay, yeah, it is. It's a Italian restaurant, but I was still wearing my suit, and I didn't think about it, right? But I'm wearing my 45, 47 hat, and I'm wearing my suit, and I got my flag, my pin, right? And I'm gonna tell you something. I don't know if it's a sign or what it is, but there is this thing. I don't. Hey guys, I'm sharing this in all honesty and in all confidence that you guys will understand what I'm saying, and I hope that you guys don't think bad of me for what I'm about to tell you. Okay. So I'm gonna tell you. I don't know what it was, but I felt this boost of confidence. I don't know. It's not. I don't know if it's the suit. I don't think it's the suit, but I felt like something special was happening, and it felt nice. I'm ready to go. Let me just tell you that I am ready to go. When I walked into the restaurant, you know, the waitresses and the host, the servers, right? They're looking at us, me and my wife, and they're whispering at each other, kind of like giggling and laughing. And I'm like, okay, maybe somebody told a nice joke or something, right? But then it's like, man, they always treat me very good. People don't know me, but whenever I've gone, it's always been a positive experience. It's always been very professional. But you know what? I dressed like a governor. I felt like a governor, and people treated me like one as well. There was this young Mexican server at the front, and he was like, I said, hey, thank you so much. Have a good night. I said the food was great, fantastic. Thank you so much. And the guy, the young Mexican guy, he was about to go, have a good night, bro, sir. Thank you so much, sir, for being here. I'm telling you. I am telling you, I see that as a sign, and many people can hate me and us, right, for the way that we express ourselves. I know a lot of people think that I'm just this extreme white right wingist guy, but it's not. I just happen to accept everything that Trump is doing. There is so many things blocking, impeding, so many things that have happened bad in our country. I can't just sit there and be petty with all the imperfections of this man. He likes attention. He likes money. But he's doing the job. He's doing a good job for us. I can't overlook at that. And I hope that people can understand that. Like, I hope that people can understand that they don't have to like me. They can make fun of my hairline. They can say I'm fat. They can say whatever they want. But just as long as they know that I am here to work my ass off for them, whether they agree with all of my policies or not, I hope that my policies are good enough for them to have confidence that Washington State will be taken care of. We're going to hold people accountable for. There is a reason why the governor is the commander-in-chief. And it's not just a commander-in-chief of the National Guard. It's like a president. Like, consider every state to be a small country. That's what it's like to be a governor, to be a president of that state. And so I hope that people understand that. And so I feel like the policy and the mentality of the person that is leading you, if they are a person of character that is not going to be persuaded by money or by people that they like, or by a certain belief that they have that they follow, if they are a fair and just person, I think that's the best person to run, and that's the best person that should take over. And people voting. I mean, like Obi-Wan Kenobi, right? You're my last hope. That's kind of how we are. Yes, I have daughters and sons. I got both, and so I hope that's good enough, and I hope that when I do get out there to actually speak in public, you have to understand something. When you are here, you are in a show. I'm entertaining. I'm giving opinion. And there's something that people need to know is that I am a big jokester. I'm a big joker. I make jokes all the time. I do this and do that. But when it comes to getting down to business, I am very, very professional in my business. And so it depends on where I'm at. I'm sure you guys are the same. You guys are not going to act like jackasses everywhere you go. When you go to a certain place, you're going to act a certain way. You're going to be respectful of other people's rules and property and etc. So that's how it is, okay? That's how it is. And I try not to focus on the personal life of the president. I try to focus more on the policies, because I can sit here and judge everybody by how they talk, how they walk, how they look, and I will never be able to see who they really are. And so I think it's a big difference. For example, okay, so maybe let's say, for example, I don't know, Jose. Jose is over here clowning on me or something, right? If I look at Jose and he looks like a homeless guy, and I just start talking to him like he's some homeless that is useless and I don't care about him and he's not important, that's not good. That's not to say that that's the way you look at homeless, but it's just to how people in general really react to things. We have helped homeless before in the church, and we have given them a place to shower, clean up. I have gone personally to go buy brand new clothes. I'm not talking about Goodwill. I'm not talking about secondhand store. No, I've gone and bought new clothes, T-shirts, underwears, pants, shoes, socks, the whole enchilada, brand new. And then I go and give that to people that need it. So, I've done all kinds of charities and stuff like that, but, it's not something that I put on a resume. But I do have experience giving that kind of stuff out there. And it feels so good to give. When you're able to give, it feels very good to give. And, I had a conversation with a couple of the girls that was working at the place where I got my dryer. And I said, let me ask you something. What do you think about this? What do you think if you're working full time? How do you feel about maybe the government will raise the bar, so even though you're working full time, and they raise the bar to qualify for benefits like free health care and food benefits, do you think that helps? And they both said, hell yeah. She said, I can't afford to pay rent. I gotta choose between I eat or I pay rent. And sometimes when you pay rent late, you have the late fee, and then your interest, and then the charges, and all these late fees here, and there, here. It's crazy. And I said, I understand. And I said, well, I'm going to be running for governor, and I want to know what will help people. And they were like, well, oh my gosh, I tell you what, just with that, you got my vote. The other one, not so much, because the other one heard me say that I'm a Trump supporter. So she was upset a little bit, but I did make her smile before I left. So there's hope. There's hope out there for people. All right? All right, David, how are you? Let's see. I'm talking about a real president. That is right. Cool Cat Renee, welcome, my friend. Bryce Williams asked me if I have daughters. I said yes. Okay, who else did I miss in here? 623. How you doing, bruh? Miguel Leva, how are you? Welcome, welcome. Miguel Leva says, you no, you don't. You're ignorant. Oh, man, this guy's. Come on, man. Give me a break, will you? Give me a break. User OV says, when it comes to getting down to business, do you distort the facts and truth to sell nationwide narrative? No, that is not getting down to business. That is lying to people. I don't lie to people. And here's the thing that people have when they come in, especially from the left side. When they come in here to my chat, they think that their facts are the facts. But that's not how it works. The facts are the facts. Whatever you think are facts to you is irrelevant. I try not to let my facts be my facts, but let them be the facts. Like, for example, I'll give you this. We were watching a video of something that was happening. Like, we're watching it together. We seeing the event unfold. And then people on the chat that are leftists, leaning leftists, they kept just typing lies, 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 lies. And I'm like, I'm not saying anything. You're watching it happen. How is that a lie? Like, you're watching it happen. There is no narrating. There's nobody telling you anything. You're watching this live. How can you say lies, lies, lies? Like, what the hell is wrong with these people? It's like, even when they see the truth, what do you mean it's a lie? Like, bro, the guy just got hit by a car. What do you mean that's a lie? It just doesn't make sense. I listen, I don't know. I share with you guys a picture. I share with you guys a picture of how the Democratic Party is and how the leftists be looking at the Democratic candidates and how they look at criminals. Matter of fact, here, let me let me find that photo real quick. I'm gonna show it to you guys. Okay. Let me find that photo. Let me see. Where are you, little one? I'll see if I can find it. I'll see if I can find it. Oh, my goodness. Here you go. Look at this. This photo right here. All right. Now, if you were with me earlier, you already saw this, okay? But look at this. This is why young people in America are so confused. There you go. All right. Let me get over here to adjust. This is why they're so confused. So they have a man that thinks he's a woman. And all of the Democrats agree. They are afraid, and even some Republicans, they are afraid of being politically correct. Hold on. All right, it's getting late, so I don't want to drink too much coffee either. But there's a woman that believes it's a man, and because they're afraid of being politically correct, they don't say, "Oh man, that's a man." They're so compromised. Like, they're so afraid to offend somebody. So what if they get offended? You're not gonna lie to them so they don't get offended. You gotta tell them the truth, and as long as it is the truth, it's not your fault that they get offended. That's their deal. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to teach my kids that that's a woman. That's an ugly-ass man right there. And then you have Joe Biden, and they say he was sharp as a tack. He is a genius compared to President Trump. Unbelievable. Right. And then you have a woman, an Indian woman, who believes herself to be African-American all of a sudden. Okay, sure. And then they call a drug addict who overdosed, may he rest in peace, who overdosed on drugs, a hero. A hero. And, you know, and Floyd, I remember when he was in the car, there was nobody putting a knee in the back of his neck. And he was saying, I can't breathe, man. I can't breathe. Don't put me in the car, man. I can't breathe, man. I don't put me in the car. It just sounds like somebody's just freaking out. Granted, they don't know what to do. What can you do? You're not thinking, oh, man, this guy's dying. You don't think about that. And then they show a photo of Chavanov over there with his knee in the back of his neck. And the way that he is on it, he's not putting pressure on it. And whatever. That's my thing. But anyway, this is the guy that held a woman pregnant at gunpoint to rob her. And the leftists, the Democrats, call him a hero. That is the problem with society. It really is. And then you have, which by the way, mad respect for Bill Gates. But Bill Gates is not a scientist. He's not a scientist. Computer science, I think it's not the same as a scientist. And then, you have AOC, a girl that just went on live television. Genius, they call her. Genius. Unbelievable. You got the city on fire, just burning. And they say these are not riots. This is just mostly peaceful protesting. And then, of course, you got the psycho Greta, a child who has been rebellious and disrespectful to her parents. She is all of a sudden a genius expert on global warming. You can't make this up, guys. I know that there's been 3 ice ages, okay? I think it's 3, maybe more. But the last ice age is still melting. We're not done. There is islands that there were no islands before. This happens all the time. It takes thousands of years. There's nothing we can do as humans to stop it. Nothing. We are not God. And in this country of the United States of America, we have the lowest CO2 on the ozone than any other country. We are the cleanest country in the world when it comes to that. And then you have a white lady who lied that she was a Native American so that she can get a free pass to college. Imagine that. Unbelievable. And of course, the worst of them all, it's your, we call her the white lady, the first lady, a black woman who feels and still believes that she is oppressed. My friends, this is the mentality that they have on the left side. I'm glad that we had some calls earlier. We had some good calls. We had one guy. I don't blame him. He could be on PTSD, but I think he's more likely to have TDHS, issues, and he really needs some medicine for those 2 diseases. It drives the libtards really crazy, just crazy. All right, that is the catching up. The catching up that I was going to give you on that. How do you guys like my little backstage Honduran and American flag right above President Donald Trump right there? I think it looks amazing. All right, guys, I'll go ahead and interact with you guys a little bit on the chat. Let's go ahead and for those who missed the speech in Kentucky, well, fear no more. We are here and we are going to play the whole speech. Let's have some fun.
Well, thank you very much. Thank you. And a very special hello, Kentucky. I love Kentucky. I love Kentucky. We won in a landslide. We won by so much. We have the all-time record in this state. But it's great to be back in this beautiful Commonwealth with so many proud, hardworking, unbelievable American patriots. Thank you. And we're here today with the men and women of a phenomenal company that has been helping Kentucky grow and prosper for 6 incredible decades. In other words, they've been here for a long time. Verst Logistics. Verst Logistics. Good company. Just met a lot of the people that run it. They're good people. They love you. They love you, actually. If they didn't, I wouldn't be here, probably. I don't think I'd be here. If they didn't love you, I'd walk off this stage right now. With your help, this family-owned business has risen from a small trucking operation into a juggernaut of warehousing, packaging, one of the biggest, transportation, all these big labels they put on. But I'll tell you, America's favorite brands right here, and this has been an unbelievable group of people that built this wonderful company, and I want to thank them very much. It's an honor to be here. And like the people of Kentucky, you do it with skill and precision and pride, using equipment stamped with those beautiful words, made in the USA. Do you remember? Made in the USA. We're putting it all over the place. And we're making more and more things in the USA, more than we ever had. More people are working today in the USA than at any time in the history of our country. And by the way, do we have a great military? The best. Better than any military in the world by far. I didn't know that we're going to have to be showing it off so much, to be honest with you. I built it. In my first term, we built this military, and I didn't know that we'd have to use it quite as much as we're using it, but we're using it well, and there's no better military. There's nobody even close, so we're very proud of it. So we have in this company 2,600 employees, and they pour out their sweat and their soul into shipping the products America knows and loves, and they're doing more business than they've ever done before. And thanks to the record-setting tax cuts that we passed in the great, big, beautiful bill, biggest tax cuts in the history of our country, tax cuts. You know, as I grew up, I'd watch politicians, and I'd always hear that, we're going to cut your taxes, cut your taxes. This is the first group of opponents. It's the first group, the Democrats. They're always saying, we're going to raise your taxes. Historically, a politician has to. Ideally, you're going to follow through. But you have to say, we're cutting taxes. They say, we're going to raise that. They were going to give you, if they won, Kamala and Joe, Sleepy Joe. But they were going to raise your taxes more than any. It was the biggest tax increase in the history of our country. And I kept saying, are they really saying this? I don't know. What do I know about politics? I haven't been doing it that long. But they were going to give you the biggest tax cut. And now, again, the midterms are coming. They want to raise your taxes higher than you've ever had before. We have to win. The midterms are going to be very, very important to keep it going. But thanks to the tax cuts, which are record-setting, we passed the great, big, beautiful bill, and I'm pleased to report that Verse Logistics is investing more than $10 million into expanding its operations this year, right here, $10 million. And you're buying brand new tractor trailers and opening up warehouses in 2 additional states, Texas and North Carolina. And that's what it's all about. And that's why we did it. And with the help of our tax cuts, all of those trucks and warehouses and equipment purchases, everything that we're doing, and everything that you see in this country that's being built, you get what's called expensing, meaning a deduction in the first year. 1 year, it's the bit. Now, to a lot of people, that doesn't mean. To me, it means something else. It means jobs. That's why we have so many jobs, the best jobs ever. Perhaps most importantly to the workers here today, I'm pleased to report that the great, big, beautiful bill also delivers no tax on overtime. Whoever thought that was going to happen? That means every extra hour you work, your overtime pay is now 100% tax-free. You have no tax. Remember that when you go and vote, because the Democrats want to end it. So you take home 20 or 30% more to those beautiful children, or whoever the hell you're bringing it home to, okay? I don't know who you're bringing it home to. I don't want to know. That's not my business, although it could be interesting. After so many years of politicians who sold out the working men and women of our country, we finally have a president who puts American workers first. With us today are the front row Joes. You know, they have followed me. What are you up to? About 350 rallies, right? 350 rallies. I don't know what the hell they do. I don't know where they get their money, but they follow me a lot. We have a lot of people. They follow, just like a tour, but they're front row Joes. They're like professionals at getting on the front row. Thank you. And there's a lot of them, too. Thank you very much. Great honor. So a short time ago, under a man named Sleepy Joe Biden, has anyone heard of him? Has anyone heard of him? How about Barack Hussein Obama? He went to Jesse Jackson's funeral. He spoke, and it was like a political hit job. And the family of Jesse Jackson got angry as hell at him because they understand they hated each other. You know, he was there. But I loved watching that. That was so. The family goes outside and they start screaming at him. A short time ago, under Biden and his allies in Congress, we were dead as a doornail. We were a dead country, I'll tell you, and it looked like we weren't going to come back. Now we have the hottest country anywhere in the world. This is the hottest country anywhere in the world. Most powerful military. The stock market has set 53 all-time record highs since the election, all time. And the typical American's 401k is up by almost $35,000 since I took office. And in 4 years, Joe Biden got less than $1 trillion of new investment into the United States. So think of this, $1 trillion over a period of much less, over a period of 4 years. We got $18 trillion. And Jake Paul knows what that means. $18 trillion in 11 months, because they haven't calculated the 12th month. So we have 18 trillion in 11 months. Say in a year, what difference does it make? Compared to substantially less than 1 trillion in 4 years. You would say they didn't do a good job, Jake. I didn't ask Jake who he voted for, but I don't think it was Kamala. No, I don't think so. I think your whole reputation would be shot if you said, oh, I voted for Kamala. That would be the end of your whole career, Jake. But here in the heartland of America, you're already seeing the results of what we've done. I just came from Thermo Fisher Scientific in Reading, Ohio, right across the way. A great American company that's investing $2 billion in domestic manufacturing, all because of what we've done with the tariffs and with the deductions and all of the other things that we've done. Ford Motor Company, and by the way, we have more jobs in terms of construction. We're building more factories now in this country than at any time in the history of our country. More factories are being built. And Ford Motor Company, a good old staple, has announced a $2 billion assembly plant in Louisville, Kentucky, which will support more than 2,200 Kentucky jobs. And I was with Ford the other day. I was in Detroit, and Bill Ford, the head of it, he had an advantage over everybody else in getting the job, but that's okay. He was born Ford, but he was showing me a plant that was built in like 1914, very old, one of the biggest plants in the country, but one of the oldest. And they were getting ready to shut it down a year and a half ago. And then he heard Trump was running, and he sort of said, let's wait. So they were getting ready to shut it down. It was on minimal time. It was just a question of time, but he said, let's wait. And he waited. And they just announced 2 weeks ago that they're now going to run 7 days a week, 24 hours a day, building the Ford 150. Big difference. It's a big difference. That's a big difference. You shut it down or you run 24 hours a day. And they're doing a good job. Apple, a great company, $2.5 billion to manufacture 100% of the glass for iPhones and Apple Watches right here in Kentucky factories, all being made in Kentucky. And Apple's spending $650 billion on new plants all over the United States. Think of that. Who the hell else could have done this? Nobody else. Nobody else. I say it kiddingly, but I'm actually not kidding. Nobody else could have. He's done a good job, Tim Cook, but $650 billion, think of it. And just 2 days ago, GE Aerospace, they're doing phenomenally, announced a $1 billion investment in American manufacturing, including $115 million right across the river in the Queen City, Cincinnati. I love Cincinnati. So jobs, factories, and new investments are pouring in as they do. We have added 70,000 new construction jobs in just a short period of time, including 8,000 brand new construction jobs in Kentucky, okay? Kentucky. I love the way a real Kentuckian pronounces it, but if I do it, but I love Kentucky. More Americans are working today than any time in history, and that number is going to be, wait till you see the numbers by the end of the year. We did an excursion. You know what an excursion is? We had to take a little trip to get rid of some evil, very evil people. It should have been done for 47 years. They've been killing our people. 47 years. 47 years. And I can only say this. They were all prepared. They're very strong. You know, they're going to try and take over the whole Middle East. They were going to knock out Israel. They don't know what the hell hit them, right? They don't know what hit them. They got hit by the American military. They don't know. They say, what the hell is happening? They didn't expect anything like this. To bring down energy costs for American workers and families and businesses like this one, we ended the Green New Scam. You know the scam? Greatest scam in American history. Well, maybe the election results of the second election were. I would say what was the greater scam, the Green New Scam or the 2020 rigged election? I would say the 2020. I think the election. I think the election, but what difference? But the main thing is, we said, get out and vote. We're going to do it again, and we're going to make it too big to rig. And that's what we did. We got the highest vote in history. We didn't need that big. We made it too big to rig. We terminated the insane electric vehicle mandate where you were mandated. And I like electric cars. I think they're great. I like Elon. I said, Elon, look. Not everybody wants an electric car. And I like him, and it's a great product, everything, but they have to have, we ended the mandate. We ended the mandate. Now you can have gasoline, you can have hybrid, you can have whatever the hell you want, you can have electric. They wanted you to buy an electric car by 2030. There's only one problem, you can't charge it. You ever see a charger? You're driving down the road, you're running a little low, and they say, electric charging plant, 150 miles up the road. That's a bad feeling. And we massively increased production of American oil, natural gas, and clean, beautiful Kentucky coal. And we're not allowed, in the Trump administration, we're not allowed to use the word coal without preceding it with two words, clean, beautiful. We say clean, beautiful coal. And we had Doug Burgum the other day, Secretary of the Interior, who's great, and Chris Wright, Secretary of Energy. and they were giving a long speech on coal. And I tried to stop them. I was in the audience. They kept saying, clean, beautiful coal, clean, beautiful coal, clean, beautiful. And after about like 40 times, I said, wait a minute, just say coal. It's too much. It's too much. But it's clean, beautiful coal, and it's back, and it's roaring back. You know, it's interesting. China uses a lot of coal. China's very smart. They use coal. What they don't use much of, if at all, are windmills. So they make all the windmills, and they sell that garbage to us. Round and round it goes, keeps losing money. Every time it goes around, it loses $25. That's a lot, you know. And kills a lot of birds. Kills them all. You know, if you shoot a beautiful bald eagle, they put you in jail for 5 years. Windmills kill them by the thousands. Okay, figure that one out. Last year, I took action to save 74 coal power plants from crushing restrictions and regulations that were putting them out of business, that would have forced them to shut down, including 4 plants we saved right here in Kentucky, and some of the people that work at those plants are here with us now. It's very powerful, and it is now with modern equipment, clean, beautiful, but it's a very powerful fuel. It's very powerful. And if it wasn't, China and some of these other big behemoths would not be using it. They use it because it's powerful, very, very powerful. The wind, you know, you're watching television and you want to watch, and your beautiful wife, our First Lady, says, I'm sorry, darling, you can't watch tonight. The wind has gone down and we have... But I want to watch myself on television. I want to watch myself debate. He says, I'm sorry, darling, we have absolutely no energy. There's no wind tonight. What a scam. That's a pretty big scam. That's one of the top. I say that's a top 5. It's about 5 that are real beauties. I also announced a lease agreement for $1.5 billion of private sector uranium enrichment facility in Paducah. Paducah. And as we take decisive action to stop the threat posed by the terrorist regime in Iran with Operation Epic Fury. Is that a great name? Well, it's only good if you win. You know, you can only do. And we've won. Let me tell you, we've won. You know, you never like to say too early you won. We won. We won the bet. In the first hour, it was over. Oh, we won. But they gave me a list of names at general. Sir, you can pick the name you'd like, sir. I said, the name of what? The name of the attack on Iran, sir. And they gave me like 20 names. And I'm like falling asleep. I didn't like any of them. Then I see Epic Fury. I said, I like that name. I like that name. And my administration, as you know better than anybody, is also working to keep the oil flowing. It's flowing all over. We knocked out, you know, they want to drop some mines. Very friendly people, mines, so boats blow up. And we knocked out as of, you know, every hour I have to change because they knock them out so fast. I've never seen anything. Think of it. They knocked out 54 ships in 2 days, and they're real ships. In fact, I got angry at my people. I said, are they any good? Yeah, they're warships. I said, why the hell did we kill them? Why didn't we just capture them and use them in our Navy? They said they wouldn't have qualified for that. But I got a little upset with my people. I said, why do we have to knock them? And actually, one of my generals said, sir, it's a lot more fun doing it this way. But we knocked out 58 naval ships. We knocked out their Navy, okay? Let's put it that way. But they also knocked out the mine layers. They call them mine layers. They put mines in the water. Lovely job. Isn't that nice? Blow up ships. And we knocked out 31 of them. And, you know, I was very proud of myself. I said, why did you use the weapon that we use on the drugs that come in by sea? Do you know that drugs by sea are down 98%? And I said, that's a hell of a weapon. And they said, well, give it a shot. It worked very well. We've knocked out, I think, 28 or 29, all of them, almost all of them. They'll all be gone. By the time I'm finished speaking, they'll be gone. These people work very fast. But I'm pleased to report that earlier today, the International Energy Agency agreed to coordinate the release of a record 400 million barrels of oil from various national petroleum reserves around the world, which will substantially reduce the oil prices as we end this threat to America and this threat to the world. We don't want to leave early, do we? We got to finish the job, right? Over the past 11 days, our military has virtually destroyed Iran. Tough country. Their Air Force is gone, totally gone. That took the better part of about 3 hours. They no longer have radar. They don't have anti-aircraft equipment. They don't have anything. Their missiles are down 90%. Their drones are down 85%. We're blowing up the factories where they're made left and right. And frankly, nobody has ever seen anything like it. Nobody's ever seen anything like what you're witnessing now, and that can include the original killing of Soleimani and al-Baghdadi, two of the worst killers in the world that I did, as well as Operation Midnight Hammer, where we totally obliterated Iran's nuclear potential. We obliterated it. They don't have nuclear potential. And then after Midnight Hammer, and then we left, we figured that'll be the end of them for a while. But they started again. That's why we got to finish it, right? We don't want to go back every 2 years. And that's because, there'll be some day when you don't have me as president. You'll have perhaps you'll have a weak, pathetic person like we've had in the past, mostly all. Like Barack Hussein Obama, who signed one of the worst deals ever with Iran, where they were going to give up everything. Remember when he filled up a 757 with billions of dollars of cash and sent it to Iran? Billions. People forget that. That's when I realized the presidency is very powerful. When you could put over $1 billion in an airplane and fly it over and give it to a foreign country that's your enemy. How stupid was that? But that deal, the Iran nuclear deal, gave them the right to have a nuclear weapon as of 3 years ago. If I didn't terminate that deal, I terminated it very quickly. If I didn't terminate that deal, they would have had nuclear weapons, and this world would right now be a different place, much different place. Believe me. And then Biden, he came along. He had no clue. He didn't know what the hell he was doing. But what they did was incredible. Everything they did was wrong. Think of it. Afghanistan, Biden, Afghanistan. The most embarrassing day in the history of our country. Embarrassing. 13 dead, but hundreds and hundreds are dead I count both sides. I do. I count both sides, sorry. But hundreds and hundreds of people dead. And instead of leaving from Bagram, they fled. I hate to even say it. There's no reason. We were in there. I was the one. We're going to get out. We're going to get out with strength and dignity. We're pounding the hell out of them. They didn't like Donald Trump, the Taliban. They would do anything I asked them to do. You know that. And this guy comes in, left all the equipment behind. I said, every piece of equipment will be taken out with us. They said, no, it's better to leave the plane. I said, why is it better? Well, I think it's more cost efficient to leave the plane. No. You got a brand new fighter jet, $150 million. You give it a tank of gas, little jet fuel, and you fly it out. They said, sir, I think it's better to leave the plane. These are the exact opposite generals as we have now. Do we love General Raisin Cane? He's great. But oil prices are already coming back down, and it's going to come down, but we're not leaving until that job is finished, and it's going to be very fast. It's going to be very fast, but we're not. We're not going to count on having competent presidents. We have to assume we're going to have incompetent ones like the one we had last time that couldn't walk off a stage. Remember? He'd finish with a speech. The speech would last about 2 minutes. People would come out, not many, like 2 people. And he'd be finished with the speech, and then he could never find his way off the platform. He'd look around over here. Oh, there's so many stairs. Like I have 4 sets of stairs on this platform. Usually they have at least that. He couldn't find, or walking up Air Force One. Now, I know the problem with this, it can happen. You could slip, I could slip. I came downstairs today that was soaking wet. You know, it's a little rainy today. And I have steel stairs, and I'm saying, hey, hey, hey. But I do it very slowly. I grab that thing, because nobody cares if you set a speed record. The only thing I admired about Barack Hussein Obama, which was nothing, actually, but the only thing is the way he bobbed down. Remember? He'd bob. Hey, you talk about unpresidential. He's bobbing. And I couldn't believe that he made it without at least a noticeable major fall. But Biden was the opposite. Biden couldn't even walk up the stairs. He fell 3 times walking up the. And the world watches that, and they don't like seeing it, although they actually do like seeing it, because they say, what the hell is going on? Or when he fell at the Air Force Academy, right? And the general was standing there, could have caught him, but he didn't want to drop the paper that he's holding in his hand. So Biden went down for the count. Now, we have a country now that's respected, and we don't play games, and we have the greatest military, and it's so nice to see. It's so nice to see. And they want to get back in office for the midterms, and you can't let them. Did you see that they went to Munich, right? You saw that, right? You saw Gavin Newsom. He admitted that Gavin Newsom. So I think his career is over, okay? Let's get off the teleprompter. Do you mind if I get off the teleprompter for a couple of minutes? Because this is, I have these great speech writers. I drive them crazy because half of the time I'm not. But Gavin Newsom, in an interview, you have a doctor in the house, please? Doctor? Yeah, take your time, please. Take your time. We have all the time. These are great people. They wait so long, hours and hours. They're great people, right? We have all the time, right? Thank you. First responders are incredible, by the way. Want to play a song? Do you think the people backstage are listening to me? How about Ave Maria? Well, because is going to be okay. How about putting it in right now, Ave Maria, if they are listening? Ave Maria by Pavarotti. Right? Take your time, Doctor. Take your time. She looks great. She looks great.
You know, while we wait, I'm sure it's almost done. It reminds me of a couple
It's
elder ladies.
Dr. Oz. Can you believe it?
Couple elder ladies that I met at Kentucky,
Dr. Oz.
and I bought lunch for them. That was so sweet.
He's a good doctor. Thank you, Oz. Thank you, everybody. Great job. Thank you. Well, thank you very much. We're talking about Gavin Newsom. Doesn't seem like a very good subject right now. It made that young lady not feel so good. Anyway, he admitted he has mental problems, that he's not a smart person, that he has a mental lack of ability. He's unable to read a speech. He can't read. And all of the other things he said he has a lot of mental problems. And I was attacked by a reporter that said, well, what's wrong with that? I said, nothing's wrong with it. But I don't want the President of the United States to have a cognitive deficiency. Okay. Right? And when he admitted this, I said, I think he just lost the Democrat nomination. What do I know? But you know what? I'm for everybody. But you know, when it comes to president, you got to be sharp. You got to be sharp as hell. One of the greatest victories we have achieved for hardworking Americans with the help of our great Republican majorities in Congress is no tax on tips, no tax on Social Security, and as I told you before, no tax on overtime, which affects you. 800,000 Kentucky seniors. And every Democrat voted against it. So remember, and they'll terminate it. If they take power, they'll terminate it. 800,000 Kentucky. So you have Think of that. You have no tax on Social Security, 800,000 seniors, and they will end it. We got to win the midterms. We also made interest on auto loans tax deductible. First time that's ever happened, but I did put a little proviso. The car has to be made in America for you to get it. Our tax cuts are projected to raise incomes in the Commonwealth by $5,400, boost household take-home pay for you by nearly $10,000, and protect more than 84,000 Kentucky jobs at a minimum. And some of the jobs we're creating or protecting are right here at Verse Logistics. So let me call up your outstanding CEO, Paul. Come on up real fast, Paul. Come on. Paul Verse. Come on up here, Paul. Let's go. Do it fast, Paul. They don't want to hear from you.
I wish I could have gone before him, Mr. President. Thank you, President Trump. Thank you for allowing me an opportunity to share our experiences, how your economic policies and the one big, beautiful bill have positively impacted our employees, company, and family. As mentioned in your earlier comments, the no tax on overtime will greatly benefit our employees, producing an average of $1,400 additional take-home pay per year per person. With this amazing benefit, the savings they will realize can be used to take a family vacation, provide further education for their children, pay bills, or make a down payment on a house or car. Our family and companies have a mission of giving back to our communities. The savings from the lower tax rates and permanently full expensing of equipment will allow us to invest back in our local communities of supporting nonprofit organizations and providing educational scholarship money for students attending local high schools and colleges. Many of our Verse family owners and members who are with us today understands how vital the extension of the estate tax credit exemption is for the continuity and succession planning of our great family business. Our sweat and equity are tied to this building, many others, and our business. Without this extension, it is possible our thriving business would one day need to be sold to pay family estate taxes. President Trump, this is all possible because of your vision to make America great again. On behalf of our family, company, and employees, we want to take this opportunity to welcome you to Northern Kentucky and the Cincinnati region. You are in the heart of Kentucky, home of bluegrass, faster horses, and the best damn bourbon in the world. You are in Trump country right now. Wrapping this up, if we can just take a pause, and I'm going to say a quick little prayer for President Trump, if I could. May God bless and keep you healthy and safe. And may God bless our beloved United States of America and everything it stands for. Thank you, President Trump.
Thank you, Paul. Wow, he did a good job. You think that's easy to do? That's not easy. Oftentimes I'll say to the head of a company, please come up and say, no, I don't want to do it. Very good. Thank you very much. Thank you for the prayer. Also with us today is Sammy Biddle, who works at the restaurant and bar in nearby Newport, Kentucky. Sammy makes over half of her income through tips. And now, thanks to the no tax on tips, her tax liability has been slashed by more than 50%. The average filer's tax refund this year has soared to nearly $4,000. You're saving $4,000, and Sammy's receiving even more, over $5,000. So Sammy's going to make over $5,000 more than anticipated, all because of the great, big, beautiful bill that the Republicans got passed. But with not one Democrat vote. They want to raise your taxes. They're going to raise your taxes. So, Sammy, come on up for a second and say hello, Sammy.
Thank you, Mr. President. Oh, there we go. Hello, everyone. My name is Sammy Biddle, and I am a general manager and bartender at a local distillery in Newport, Kentucky called Pensive Distilling. And like most servers and bartenders, a big portion of my annual salary comes from working double shifts and tips. A big dream of mine has always been to save up enough money to buy a nice piece of land and eventually build a home on that land. And this year, due to our president's no taxes on tips and overtime policy, I got more year-end taxes back than I ever have, which has helped me get that much closer to my American dream. Thank you, Mr. President.
That's pretty good, right? Thank you, Sammy. So millions and millions of Kentucky families have more money in their pockets thanks to what we did with respect to tax cuts. And I just described what every single Democrat in Congress voted against it. Every single one, not one voted for it. They want tax increases, along with just one Republican voted against. You know what the name is? He is the worst person. His name is, what the hell? How did he ever end up in Kentucky? His name is Thomas Massie. How did he ever end up here, Paul? Anyway, no, Massie voted against tax cuts for seniors. He voted against tax cuts for overtime workers. And he voted against tax cuts for earners, tip earners. No, he wanted to increase the taxes. He voted with the Democrats. He voted against our historic funding for border security. He voted against border security, where we took the worst border in the history of our country and made it the best border in the history of our country in 2.5 months. He voted against it. And he voted against eligibility verification for welfare recipients. Nobody has to be eligible. Just pick up whatever you want. The people in this room don't like that. Thomas Massie also voted with the radical left Democrats in Congress to keep the federal government shut down during the open border crusade while our military went without pay. He voted for our military not to get their pay. And now Massie, he's the worst. And I don't say that. I never hit a guy like this. The guy's the most. We call him Rand Paul Jr. He votes against everything. But at least I like Rand a little bit. Can't love a guy that votes. I got him elected twice. If I didn't endorse him, he was not going to get elected. Do you remember that? I came and I did a little rally, and Rand votes against us all the time, too. But at least he's okay. I wouldn't say the greatest. And now Thomas Massie is attacking a great Navy SEAL hero. This is a real hero, Ed Galrine, who's running against him in the primary. You know why? Because he's not doing right for our president. He didn't want to run for office. He's a hero. He's a farmer hero. He's a tremendous war hero, but he's a farmer right here. He's like central casting. I said, this is the guy I'm looking. I want to just give me somebody with a warm body to beat Massey. And I got somebody with a warm body, but a big, beautiful brain and a great patriot. He's unbelievable. And he did it because he said he's disrespecting our country. He votes against everything. And Ed became an independent a few years ago because he was so angry at the way the Republican Party was operating, and I don't disagree with him. Other people did too. But then Ed came back, and he came back strong because I got involved, and he came back stronger than he ever was, and now he's all the way, he's in this party, and he's in it. And he said, I came back because of the strength and wisdom that Donald Trump displayed, and I appreciate that. That's a nice... I think I'm going to use him in an ad. I think I'll use that statement. I'm going to use that statement in an ad. Strength and wisdom. I put wisdom in quotes because I didn't say it, he did. But many people have joined and rejoined our party, but Massey did not because he only votes no. He just votes no. Doesn't matter. I could give him the best things in the history of a Republican voter, and he'd vote no. There's something wrong with him. It'll be interesting to see what he does with the Save America Act, which is very simply, I think he has to vote for it, but he's a nut job, so you never know. All voters must show voter ID. 98%. That's 98%. All voters must show a little thing called proof of citizenship in order to vote. Right? Right, Paul? Paul agrees. No mail-in ballots except for illness, disability, military, or travel. You're away. You can't get there. We'll be generous. And then I added two things. We call them best of. You know what they are? Best of Trump. These are the best of. No men in women's sports. 99%. That's 99. And no transgender mutilization surgery for our children. That's it. That's it. And I think we're going to get it approved in the House, and I hear the Senate has a hard time. How can you have a hard time with that? How can you have a hard time? But Massey wants to vote no, but on this one he may be forced. I mean, how can you do it? So I just want to say this. Thomas Massey is a disaster for our party. He comes from a state that I won by a landslide, got the highest vote in the history of your Commonwealth, the highest vote. I got the highest vote. That means the people like me, and I love them. I love them. I love them more than they love me, but I still got the highest. Remember with your mother, I love you more than you love me. We revert back to childhood. But Massey's a complete and total disaster as a congressman and, frankly, as a human being. You know, he's got one thing going. He went to a good college. But I know a lot of stupid people that went to a good college. And my uncle was the longest-serving professor in the history of that particular college, university, MIT. 41 years. My uncle was there 41 years, so that means I have much better blood if you go by that. But I went to the hardest college of all to get into, the Wharton School of Finance. That means I'm real smart. We got to get rid of this loser. This guy is bad. He's disloyal to the Republican Party. He's disloyal to the people of Kentucky. And most importantly, he is disloyal to the United States of America. And he's got to be voted out of office as soon as possible. On the other hand, Ed Galron has my complete and total endorsement. He's a true American hero, and he's a great patriot, and he's doing it because he saw what this guy was doing to our country, and he said, I'm going to run. He's now a farmer, successful farmer. And I can tell you, he's strong as hell. He shook my hand. My hand is still recovering. Sir, I'd like to shake your hand. Absolutely. Holy mackerel. I didn't tell him that, you know. I'm telling him now officially. Ed, would you come up for a minute, please?
Mr. President, welcome to Kentucky, and thanks for coming to the heartland. Because you are loved and admired here for your courageous leadership of our great nation at such a critical time in history. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you. This is the land of we the people, right here. I want to thank you for your endorsement, because once you did that, my support skyrocketed. So I look forward to serving to the people as their representative of Kentucky District 4. Because as you folks know, you deserve an authentic, true Republican conservative that stands shoulder to shoulder with our president and the Republican Party and against the Democrats who are trying to destroy our nation. USA! 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 So, Mr. President, I will stand with you and the party to put America first and Kentucky always. Mr. President, I hope the fake news gets this. Tom Massey stands with the ladies of The View. Tom Massey stands with the ladies of The View. Mr. President, we stand with you. Fight, fight, fight! USA! USA!
I'm telling you, that is the greatest candidate. You know, I've done this before, not quite as violently and miserably as this one, but I just can't stand this guy. But I've had some candidates that weren't great. They'd get up, they wouldn't talk well. And I'm trying to beat like an incumbent bad congressman, senator, somebody. I do it all the time. If somebody's bad, I try and get him out of office. I should just leave it alone. My life would be a lot easier. But I have usually candidates that don't have what it takes. This guy is unbelievable. He is central casting. Just elect him. You're going to have no problems with him. Thank you. Ed, thank you. Unbelievable. That's great. He's a good man. With us today are some of the amazing warriors who, unlike Massey, stood up for the working people of this Commonwealth, this great group of people, the people that built the nation, including a wonderful man who's been with me all the way, Congressman Andy Barr. All the way. He's a good guy and a warrior. Also with us is a senator who came from really behind. He really didn't have a good chance of winning. The guy was a longtime senator, Democrat, he's terrible. He's running again, he's terrible. He was a terrible radical left lunatic. But Bernie Moreno did some job on him, and he won the race, and it was amazing. And Bernie, congratulations. And thanks as well to CMS Administrator. You just saw him working. Dr. Mehmet Oz. He was just working. Thank you, Dr. Oz. Director of the Center for Medicare, who's an incredible guy, helped us so much with the reduction in drug prices that you got, the biggest reduction in history. Chris Plump. Great job. Your state attorney general, Russell Coleman. Russell. Thank you. Thank you, Russell. Good job. A wonderful Secretary of State. We have a good one in Washington, too. Marco. Do we like Marco? I think so. Your Secretary of State, Michael Adams. Thank you. Thank you, Michael. State Auditor, Allison Ball. Thank you. These are great people, and I've gotten to know them over the years. They're just incredible people. State Treasurer, Mark Metcalf. Thank you. Thank you, Mark. Great job. Your former Kentucky Attorney General, Daniel Cameron. Daniel, thank you. Thank you, Daniel. And Chairman and CEO of Morris Industries, good man, Nate Morris. Nate, thank you. Now, also with us is a local legend who did quite well suing the Washington Post and various and sundry others. Where's Nick Sandman? Where's Nick? Come here, come on. Hurry up, Nick. He's a young guy. He can get up here. Guy walked away with a lot of money. They did a number on him. He said, we're not going to take it anymore. I love these guys. Nick, wow. Become a big celebrity, too. Nick, say a couple of words, Nick. We love Nick.
Well, thank you. And as I just said, really, the only thing I can say is, Mr. President, thank you. Thank you, and thank you to all of you, because it's us together which can beat the radical left. So thank you. We will always stand with you.
I watched that whole thing unfold, Nick, and I said, that guy is getting scammed. And you know what? He scammed them, because what he did was pretty amazing. Him and his group of friends. He had good, loyal friends, Nick, and that's great. I loved it. I loved watching what he did. And another one who's, this guy is a piece of work. He a very tough cookie. But instead of fighting like a guy his own size, he fights a guy who's like 70 pounds bigger, who won, he's like a two-time Olympian champion. He's this massive guy. And my friend is a guy named Jake Paul. And I said, and I'm watching, I didn't realize there was a slight size variance, like about 7 inches and about 70 pounds. This guy fought like, I tell you what, he is courageous. He's an incredible guy. He's got a brand new, beautiful fiance, and you're not allowed to use the word beautiful when describing women anymore. It's the end of your political career, but I'll say it anyway. What the hell? She's beautiful. She just won the Olympic gold medal. Where's she? Where's Utah? Gold medalist. Boy, I tell you, she's strong. That means she's strong. You better be careful. She's a beautiful person, and she's a big, strong athlete. I watched her win that gold, and they have an expression, if that were a fight, they'd stop it, right? She's great. But Jake Paul is a great guy, and, you know, part of the deal is he said, do you mind if I do an interview with you? I said, Jake, I'm the President of the United States. I don't do interviews. Look at Joe Biden. He went 2.5 years without doing an interview because he was shot. But he was shot 30 years ago, too. He was no good. But I said, Jake, I'm president. How can I do your local podcast? But his local podcast is big stuff. And he's big stuff. Jake, you got to come up. Come here. Come on. You got to come. This guy has guts. And he walked out with a broken jaw. Anyway, this was not the greatest fight. But you know what it showed? Lots of courage. Come here, Jake. Say a few words. These are your people.
Yeah, what Mr. Trump has taught me is courage. You know, we never back down from a fight, even if they're much bigger than you, much, much bigger than you. And I feel all the local Kentuckians feel the same way. You guys have that fight. You guys have that swag. There's a lot of young kids in here. The future of America. I grew up just a few hours away from here, and my dad taught me to fight. And all of our voices matter in America. And I'm never afraid to speak the truth, and I know you guys aren't. We are here representing the United States, and it's just a blessing. Thank you, Mr. Trump. We need more factories like this thriving all over the country, and I know he's going to be the one to bring that here to us. I know God is with us. I know he wants us on the right side of history, and everyone here has to do their part, and God's got us. Trump's got us. God bless. Love you, Kentucky.
Now, he's a great guy. He's a courageous guy and a talented guy. He's a hell of a fighter, too, by the way. And I just want to say, I'm going to make a prediction that you will be, in the not-too-distant future, running for political office, okay? And you have my complete and total endorsement, okay? No, that's what we want. He's an incredible guy. A lot of courage and smarts. So in 4 long years, Joe Biden and the radical Democrats in Congress gave us the worst inflation in the history of our country, driving up prices all across the board. They left us a mess. In 12 months, my administration has driven down core inflation down to the lowest level in more than 5 years. And in the last 3 months, inflation was less than 1.7%. Under our policies, prices for chicken, eggs, cheese, butter, potatoes, and fresh fruit are lower today by a lot than when I took office. Hotel rates, automobile prices, and rent payments are way down as well. As a result of my direction to purchase $200 billion in mortgage bonds, a risky move, perhaps, but not for me. Mortgage rates are now the lowest in more than 5 years, and the annual cost of a typical new mortgage is down almost $5,000. And to help our great citizens afford their American dream, I recently signed an executive order to ban large Wall Street investment firms from buying up single-family homes. Under my most favored nation agreements for drug prices, we're also slashing drug prices at record levels, with price differences of 400, 500, 600, and even 700%. Can you believe it? And I got that with the drug companies, and then I had to convince foreign nations that it's not fair, and I used the word tariff, the beautiful word. I always said one of my most favorite, most beautiful words. I used to say it's my favorite word, most beautiful word, and the fake news killed me. They said, what about your wife? What about God? What about religion? What about your children? I said, okay, it's my 5th favorite word. Now I don't get in trouble. No, they actually went after. I said, it's my favorite word in the dictionary, the word tariff. And they killed me. These guys are the worst. For decades, Americans have paid the highest drug costs in the world, but now, thanks to our policies, Americans are going to be paying the lowest drug prices paid anywhere in the world. And these incredible price reductions are available right now at, and I did not name this. This was done by Dr. Oz and Bobby. Where's Oz? He's back with the patient. See, he stays with the patient. Where's Oz? Oz, is it true that I did not name this after myself? Okay, thank you. If he said no, he'd be out of here. No, he's done a great job. And is she okay, Oz? Good. Thank you. Great. Great job. She's okay. So it's available right now, these really low prices, TrumpRx.gov. TrumpRx, and people are using it in record numbers. He named it, I didn't name it. I'm not sure I want my name on drug. Well, drug reduction is probably good, right? prices ever go up, are going to say, get my name off there. But they're not going to go up. They're only going to go down. Other presidents tried to do it, but all they did was talk. It was all talk, no action. I got it done. I got it done for you. Got it done for Kentucky. But it's doing record-type business, right? Biggest price reduction. I think it's one of the biggest things to happen in medicine because the prices are just a tiny fraction of what they were. So Trump RX is a major step toward a larger goal of reducing the cost of health care for hardworking Americans since the passage of the Unaffordable Care Act. You know what that is? I love the name. The Unaffordable Care Act. Oh, do the Democrats hate me? I wonder who hates me more, stupid Tom Massey or the Democrats? I think it's us. Well, they have Trump derangement syndrome. If we won that war, which we have basically done, if we won that war in one day, he should have done it faster. It's unacceptable. And by the way, if I didn't go in, now they like to complain. It's hard for them to complain. With that military is so incredible. But they like to complain. So let's assume I didn't go in. I was like every other president. Oh no, let them kill people. Let them get an atomic weapon. Let them get a nuclear weapon that can destroy the world. So let's assume I didn't go in. They'd say, he should be going in. These are the worst people. Since the passage of the Unaffordable Care Act, sometimes referred to as Obamacare, named after Barack Hussein Obama. Have you heard of him? Big insurance companies have gotten rich with our government giving them hundreds of billions of dollars as their stock prices soared up to 1,700%. Under my plan, I want to stop all payments to big insurance companies and instead give the money directly to the people so that they can buy their own health care, which will be better health care at a lower cost, Dr. Oz. Okay? Billions, trillions of dollars a year, literally trillions, go to insurance companies and you get rotten health care. Obamacare is a loser. It was meant for the insurance companies, and the insurance companies totally control the Democrats, not the Republicans. Just over 1 year ago, we inherited a mess, a floundering economy, wide open borders, the worst inflation ever, crime, chaos everywhere. Today, just a short time later, look, we've been there for 1 year. We have the most secure border in U.S. history. The flow of fentanyl across our border is down by 59%. We get it better. The murder rate just saw its single largest drop ever recorded, the lowest in 125 years, before my father, Fred, was born. Before he was born. And that's despite the fact that we have a lot of people that shouldn't have been allowed in here that are murderers. Inflation is plummeting. Incomes are rising. The economy is roaring back. And America is respected again, perhaps respected like never before. Every single day of my administration, with the help of the great people of Kentucky, yeah, I love Kentucky. We will keep on working, and we will fight, 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 and we will win, win, win. And together, we will make America powerful again, front row Joe. We will make America wealthy again. We will make America healthy again. We will make America strong, strong again, strong. We will make America proud again. We will make America safe again. And we will make America great again. Thank you, Kentucky. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Fantastic. Man, you guys, it's like having holy water Drop on demons. This is how libtards act on the chat sometimes. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. But for those of you who think that President Donald Trump has no energy, can't talk without reading the script, well, that's probably something that your President Biden, well, I say you because you guys love them so much, but your President Biden couldn't even make a sense out of it. But here's President Trump right after this long speech, doing right here, waiting for him to come inside and answer some questions. Who does that? I don't think he's a weak president. I don't think he's inept. I don't think he's incompetent. I think he is the greatest president there is. Telling the truth, Zinc Roofer. Plus, I don't get drunk like you do. I actually try to stay as sober as I can and alert as I can so that I don't misjudge what's happening in my world, in the world that I live in, where all billions and billions of human beings live in. You need to come out of your rock and maybe you'll get to learn something. Isn't that crazy? You have to do something to get something. That is just the craziest analogies. Hey, Bill.
So some of the best and brightest colleagues have come up with the center.
Well, it's a great company. We were just talking about how the expansion's going, and a lot of expansion because of Trump, I have to say. But I think the 1 year depreciation is great. 1 year expensing, everyone loves it. And we did a little excursion. We had to take this little few weeks of excursion, but it's been incredible. Our military is unbelievable, the job they're doing. I would say, to put it mildly, way ahead of schedule. We've knocked out their Navy, their military in all forms. We've knocked out just about everything there is, including their leadership. Twice. We knocked out twice their leadership, and now they have a new group coming up. Let's see what happens to them. But 47 bad years we suffered with them, not only us, the rest of the world. And we're doing our job. So we had to take an excursion, but it's doing well. The market's holding up well. I figured we'd be hit a little bit, but we were hit probably less than I thought, and we'll be back on track in a pretty short while. Prices are coming down very substantially. Oil will be coming down. That's just a matter of war. That happens you can almost predict it. I would say it went up a little bit less than we thought. It's going to come down more than anybody understands. Do you have any questions, Peter?
Yes. You just said it is a little excursion, and you said it is a war. So which one is it?
Well, it's both. It's both. It's an excursion that will keep us out of a war, and the war is going to be. For them it's a war. For us, it's turned out to be easier than we thought. But think of it, they had thousands of missiles, 7,000, 8,000 missiles. We got many of them before they got to launch. They have drones all over the place. We got many. Now we're knocking out the drone plants, as you know, going fast. They started talking about mines, so we hit 28 mine ships as of this moment, 28. Using the same weapon, the exact same weapon that we use against the drug dealers in the water. We have, as an example, we had tremendous drugs pouring in through the waters, through the sea, and now we have almost none. It's down 97% through water. Now we'll do it through land. The land is easier than water. But this is a great honor being here. It's a great company. I've known it for a long time, and you have done a fantastic job. And I'd like to congratulate you.
Thank you. It's the colleagues' work.
See the colleagues. Talks about it himself. It's a new form of visit. He said before, my associates, my colleagues, what about people that just work for you? No, right? They're colleagues.
25 years of working together.
That's why he's doing so well. Congratulations. Great company. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Great honor. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Gentlemen, we thought it would just be good to introduce some of our best
Sure, let's go.
people in our team and have you have a chance to say hello to
Well,
each of them.
let me have a picture with them. How about
Yeah,
that?
that's great.
Come on, Peter, take a picture. Come on. Let's go. Let me get alongside of some really good-looking people. All right, let's go. There you go. This guy here, Pulitzer Prize. Nobody-
You good, David? Yeah.
We're in a facility asking about China protection. Anyone asking about pharmaceuticals in some capacity.
Around 70% of that production goes to the US.
You might say that to them. Interesting. Some great information about the company, please.
We produce 1.3 medicine, and over 70% of that goes right here for space patients. We have a variety of therapeutic areas, cardiovascular, oncology, diabetes, that we at the site. When products are difficult here, which means effective of the tech piece and the workforce that we have in Cincinnati. We are right
And we're
around
taking this away from a lot of countries from all over the world, from other things, and sometimes they're not doing a very good job of it. And sometimes they put us actually at risk, and we're taking that away.
Actually, we'd like to thank you for that, for the reshoring efforts. We produce 1.3 billion, and we are actively working with 2 customers. Merck is one of them for a key profile product, reshoring back to this facility. Boehringer Ingelheim is another. We produce 1.3 billion. Between these 2 opportunities, it will nearly double the manufacturing for this facility. So we really appreciate the work that you're doing.
And they're coming in, Merck as an example, they're building many factories, Pfizer, Lilly. They're all coming in building many factories, but they're up here faster. And at some time in the future, they'll probably be doing a little bit of what you're doing, maybe a lot. But in the meantime, they can get here a lot faster by using this great company and other companies like this, but this great company, right?
Thank you.
Good job.
Thank you very much. The other thing I would add is we are deeply invested in the community here in Cincinnati. We focus on all of our employees live here. We raise our families here. We're focused on job development here. We partner with local universities as well as trade. In this facility, you have everything from high school graduates all the way to PhDs. Al and I are both examples of a co-op program right out of the university. Thermo Fisher very much develops talent.
And I spent 3 summers in the Queen City. Do they still call it the Queen City?
Yes, they do, sir.
In the Queen City, and it was a great experience with my father. I was very young, and we had a little apartment house here, a little complex called Swifton Village.
Yep.
And it worked out very well, so it was good. It's always good to get off to a good start, right? We got to do a good start. If you don't do a good start, it gets a lot more difficult. But it was a great experience. I love Ohio. And Kentucky we're going to also, you know, Kentucky. And we won them both by a lot. I think we can, absolutely without question, we can say by a landslide. And it's great to be back. Thank you. It's great. Thank you very much. And Dr. Raz is here, one of our real stars.
Mr. President, do you want to share with our buddies at Thermo Fisher about most favored nation pricing and why this is so important to your country?
So the whole world, we were paying the most for drugs. We were paying more than any other nation by far. And I don't mean by a little bit, like double, triple, quadruple. I use it just as a basic example. A pill that would cost in London $10 could cost $100 in New York. And through a lot of talent and Dr. Oz too, and some of his people, they're incredible. But I dealt with countries and with the pharmaceutical companies, and pharma was pretty easy because they thought we'd never get it approved by the countries. So they said, well, we're going to be okay with it, which they weren't. But in the end, they were. They were fine, really good. But in the end, I used some very strong negotiating talent to get every single country to almost immediately approve. I threatened them with tariffs. I said, look, if you're not going to do this, you're going to take your medicine from $10 to $20, and you're going to bring us from 100 down to 20. So we're going to be now the lowest, tied for the lowest anywhere in the world. We take the lowest, and that's where we are right now. We went from the highest in the world to the lowest in the world. And I think it's the biggest thing with medicine of pricing. And you're a beneficiary of that, and it's made a big difference. But it's a big difference for people that aren't paying the $100. They're paying now 20. They go from 100 to 20. And a country, France or one of the countries, will go from 10 to 20. And they said, we're not going to double our price. And I said, yes, you are. I said, no, you're not. And they said to me, look, what are you going to do? I said, I'm going to put very substantial tariffs if you don't do it. And they go into effect tomorrow morning. And they said, like we said, we're going to do it. And it was pretty amazing. Nobody can believe it all happened. And I guess other administrations tried, but they're not that competent, or they didn't try at all. I would say mostly they didn't try. I don't even think they tried. But we took it down by 60, 70, 80, 90%. And there's never been a thing. In 28 years, medicine's only gone up. And we brought it down by, in many cases, 80% more. So it's an honor, and you're a big recipient because it's good for your business, right?
Absolutely.
Good. Thank you very
We're
much.
proud to be a part of the American supply chain and reshoring pharmaceutical operations. So thank you very much.
That's what we're doing. We're bringing it back to our country, where it should be. Thank you.
Mr. President, Alan was actually going to show you a little bit about our packaging operation and how we bring medicines to patients here in the U.S.
Good. We'll let the media, I didn't say fake news, please. There are too many professionals. So I refuse to call you fake news, all right? See how nice I am? They say, what are you show me. Over here. You might see it's interesting stuff.
So to give you a little on the line here. Okay, we have these zones for the visit. As you saw over there, the folks are gowned as far as part of the pharmaceutical manufacturing process. We're on a packaging line, one of our 3 bottle lines here at the site. And this is the last step of the process here. So it's a U-shaped line. We kind of walk you through. We have lines staged to give you a feel. On this part of the line here, the bottles are getting oriented and on the line. Then they come in here into the next spot, which is known as our filler room. So that's where we have the filler. Tablets are going into the bottle. It's very accurate. So check with
Do you ever get one extra tablet?
there are times where we get one extra.
That's devastating to the bottom line.
But there's a way checker, so we catch all of those.
So past all that, in this whole filler room, it's part of a higher cleanliness zone. So before it leaves that space, the cap is on the bottle, and it has gone through induction sealing so that it's foil sealed. As it comes through the rest of the line here, it'll come through, and then it gets the label at the back here of the line. And then it's labeled with a serial number. Serial number. And then it goes to the back end of the line here where we last steps here is it goes through a bundling station, so you can see an example of that. It'll then get packed into the shipper, where it is then closed up onto the pallet. That's the whole process. So we package each batch then, and they'll go through the final release processes from our quality systems here, and then on to the shipping to our customers.
A great, big, beautiful company.
Yes.
Really good company. The best. 2,000 employees. Yeah, United States.
Mr. President, before we move on, would you mind doing a photo? Mike?
Where'd you get?
Straight up. Thumbs up.
You got it?
And he is so low energy that I happen to know that this is his next stop. Correct.
Okay, thank you very much. I think it was a great trip.
Isn't that crazy? On top of that, all day long, this man has been working. It's nighttime now, and he is still up and running. He is still doing his job as a president. How many times did you see Joe Biden giving a press conference or do anything even close to what President Trump has been doing? Not even close. Respect him and stop hating just because you don't have money like he does. Respect what the man is actually doing.
And we have very good news on the war front. Namely,
remember, you get to question this man's patriotism as the commander-in-chief. Who the hell are you, expat? Who the hell are you to tell me not to question your patriotism? See, our freedom goes both ways. You question my president, the commander-in-chief, above you, and your entire serving military. Commander-in-chief. And you get to criticize them, and you're going to tell me not to criticize you? Shut the hell up.
they are absolutely being destroyed. Iran is being absolutely decimated. That's all I can say.
President Trump, what have you heard about this bulletin that some law enforcement put out about a possible Iran revenge plot in California, where there would be some kind of a boat offshore launching drones towards
It's being
the coast?
investigated, but you have a lot of things happening, and all we can do is take them as they come. The war itself is being prosecuted as well as anybody has ever seen, and this is other countries telling me too. Big countries, powerful countries, they said they've never seen anything like it. And they also agree with what I'm doing. They say it's an evil country, and it's been for 47 years that way.
And if they try to hit us back, have you been briefed about how many Iran sleeper cells there could be inside the U.S. right now?
I have been, and a lot of people came in through Biden with this stupid open border. But we know where most of them are. We've got our eye on all of them, I think.
Is it dozens?
They came in through the open border policies of Sleepy Joe Biden, one of the worst president in the history of our country. And we've got our eyes on all of them. But the war itself is being prosecuted at a level that nobody's seen before. It's pretty amazing to watch.
Can you give us a timeline on when you're planning to tap the Strategic Petroleum Reserve, a timeline of when that could happen?
We're going to be doing it very quickly, and then we'll fill it up. We'll fill up our reserves. You know, if you remember, I filled them up, and then I had a deal to go at the highest level, a level that's never been, and Schumer and the Democrats for $25, and it was turned down. You remember that, Peter. Almost before your time, but not quite. But it was, we had a deal at $25. Think of that, $25 a barrel, and the Democrats turned it down. We're going to tap it out like it's never been, but they turned that down, and now it's a lot higher.
President, are you considering having the U.S. Treasury Department buy oil futures as a means to keep the oil prices down or bring the oil prices down?
We're going to be in very good shape. You see what's happening. They are pretty much at the end of the line. Doesn't mean we're going to end it immediately, but they've got no Navy, they've got no Air Force, they've got no anti-air traffic, anything. They have no systems of control. We're just riding free range over that country. And now we're going to look very strongly at the Straits. The Straits are in great shape. We've knocked out all of their boats. They have some missiles, but not very many. I think we're in very good shape. The main thing is we have to win this thing, win it quickly, but win it. And there are many people, I'm just watching some of the news. Most people say it's already been won. It's just a question of when. When do we stop? We don't want to let it regrow. And ideally would like to see somebody in there that knows what they're doing. In other words, they can build a country. Now, one other thing, we can hit sections of Tehran and other places that if you do it, it'll be almost impossible for them to rebuild their country. And we don't want that. But we can hit electric, we could take apart their electric capacity within 1 hour, and it would take them 25 years to rebuild it. So ideally, we're not going to be doing that. Thank you very much, everybody.
Thanks for the question.
Just amazing. President Trump is just fantastic. It is just phenomenal. No greater person that I can look up to besides my mother. No greater person. The man is a working horse. We don't even pay his salary. Some libtards think that they are paying President Trump's salary. You're not. Somebody try to argue that he is getting paid. He's making millions doing something else. He can do what he wants. I like Lulu. That's beyond the line. I don't appreciate that. So, time out. Okay? I don't appreciate that. Do you have a question, Furtek? What's the question that you have? Let me tell you something. If I sit here and judge every single one of you guys that judge President Trump the way you do, I would just be probably the worst human being on earth. I want to know. I want you to you know what? Let's just make a comparison. I want to know, what have you done to make this country better? Have you at least been telling the truth about this country? Ask yourself the honest question. The honest question is this. Are you being honest with yourself when you say the things that you say? Have you ever stopped in and tried to use this technique called critical thinking, common sense? Look at the good and the bad, the positive and the negative, and then make a rational decision that makes sense. Okay? As somebody wants to say only God judges, let me remind you that the Bible says that we are to judge one another. We are to exhort and rebuke one another. That is in the Bible. Now, you don't know this because you don't read the Bible. You just use the lines and maybe some scriptures that some preacher or somebody put on TV. But when you read the Bible, you seal it in your heart and in your mind. And those of you who are living in sin, who are living in rebelliousness, who are breaking the law, who are miserable with yourselves, you think telling you the truth is hate. Well, it's not. It's not hate. It's truth. You just don't like it. Now, you can judge, and I love how much people, this is left and right, I don't care. People in general, people love to judge. People love to judge, but they don't do anything to fix themselves. You know what I say every day? I am not perfect. I am not worthy of Jesus Christ dying for my sins. I am not a good man. I wish I was like Jesus. I'm not the type of Christian you want. I'm not the secular person that you want me to be either. I know that my soul will be judged by God himself. But while I'm here, if I am doing something wrong, go ahead and correct me. But prove to me that is wrong. And if I don't believe you, you did your job. You did your job. And you should be happy with yourself. But your job is not to perfect me. Your job is not to convince me. Just like I'm not here to convince you. Right? Over the line, Fresn. Over the line. I'm not using the F word with you there. So, don't get mad because I say the truth. I tell the truth as it is. If I tell people that people in Washington State is a blue state, blue everything. I said before, last year, that we're not losing the war in Iran. What the hell are you smoking? I don't know what the hell these people have been smoking. It doesn't matter if he's the president. He's still a servant. He's still an American citizen, and we should have his back. If he's not doing something right, we got to do our part and do what's right instead of just criticizing. I guarantee you, you will do no better job in his position. A lot of people think that they would do a better job, but you see Biden, you see the libtards, you see the Democrats going in there, almost destroying this country. No respect. I don't care if the world laughs at us. Who cares? They know not to mess with us. They can laugh all they want. They can bark. But you know what? They ain't got no bite. So what I'm saying to you is, as Jesus said to the people who were following the law to stone a woman because she had committed adultery. The law of men in that land is to stone the woman to death. Jesus gets in the middle. She was guilty. She was guilty. And Jesus said, he who amongst you is without sin in your life, cast the first stone. And they knew that Jesus knew their hearts. And they all dropped the stones and left. You guys sit here like you are this most sacred, righteous Christian with holiness, an aura of holiness. You never get upset. You're always patient. You're always kind. You're always giving. You're always understanding. You have no temptations. You have no bad thoughts. You never cheat. You never steal. You never lie. You never envy. You're not greedy. You're not a glutton. You're not a proudful person. You are so perfect. You are so perfect. So I say to you today, leave the man's personal life alone. Don't forgive him. You need to forgive yourself. If you forgive yourself, you will be able to forgive him. And when you are able to forgive him, you will receive peace. You will receive peace. And you will be able to use common sense. And when you use your critical thinking, after you forgive him, you have to forgive him for you to be forgiven. Then you will see how you're acting right now. Every day I fail. Every day I sin. It's not that I'm out there cheating on my wife or doing, no, but in some way I'm sinning. There is no way that I will be like Jesus Christ. There's no way. But I got to be able to look inside my soul. My soul is my brain. What's up here? That's your soul. Then you have a spirit inside this flesh. And the flesh is your prison. This is your weakness. The flesh is what makes us angry. We have pain. We are nervous. We shake. We lose control as we get older. Some people are blind. We got all these weaknesses. That's why I forgive President Trump. I know his life. I sat for hours watching from his father's life all the way to seeing him as president. I know his adulteries. I know his lies. I know his failures. But I also know that he is a fighter. He doesn't give up. And if there's anything prideful in him, is that he wants to be the best president ever. And that, my friends, it's enough for me to appreciate what he is doing for our country. Let me summarize really quick all the lies that you guys tell me when you come into my channel. You say he lies, lies, lies. You say he hasn't done anything for this country. The economy is worse because of Trump. And let me remind you that you've been saying this since he took office. Right now, you have an excuse. Iran, oh, how's the oil looking? Right now, you're making excuses to hate the man. But what you need to do is forgive him. Did you have a bad childhood? I'm serious. Were you molested? Were you abused? Were you never hugged? Were you never loved? What is the problem? Some people have trauma and I get it. But I want you to recapacitate, if that's a word in English. I want you to look at yourself and be honest. Am I a jerk? If the answer is yes, be honest. Fix yourself. You think me calling somebody a moron or retard, you think that's bad? Maybe you're right. But so what? You keep claiming that you have this freedom of speech. Well, freedom of speech is for everybody. Freedom of speech is for you to express yourself however you want. The difference is when you come into my channel, this is my private channel, right? Not really private, but this is my space. If I go to your house, I'll be very respectful. I wouldn't be cursing you out. If I go to your house and you got children, even if you are cursing, I just wouldn't. Because even if you teach your children to be bad, I will not be that guy. And there is a reason every single chapter, every episode, every time I get on my channel, not made for children, 18 and older. Because I understand that the age 18 is consenting age. And they can decide to listen to me or not. How can you be so old? I understand the young. I understand the youth. How can you be older than me? I am almost a half a century old here in a couple of months. How can you not have more wisdom than me? How can you not see that the mistakes of others are not bigger than your mistakes? You, Jose Gonzalez, you are condemning yourself by raising false testimony against your neighbor. The punishment for that is whatever punishment is meant for that of the accusation that you're making. Meaning that whatever the punishment is for what you're accusing your neighbor comes to your life. This is why it's important that you understand. You need to forgive the man and just trust in God. If you're really going to do this God thing, if you're going to pretend to be a Christian and throw scriptures or tell me that God will say this and what Jesus did, if you're going to pretend to know those things, do what I told you. There is no other way that I can save you from yourself. I told you the truth. You don't want to hear the truth. I don't expect the president to be 100% accurate, 100% correct. He will misspeak. He will misquote. He will say the wrong days, the wrong times, the wrong numbers. Who cares? The fact is, he is helping this country. Not only is he helping this country, for Pete's sakes, he offered to help Mexico with cartel. Mexico said no. He offered to help Honduras, and the communists said no. Well, now we have a president in Honduras who once was best for the Honduran people, and he is one of the 18 countries who signed to be with the America's Counter Cartel Association. Venezuela thanks President Trump. El Salvador, Nayib Bukele, a president that was called a dictator, a tyrant, because he stood against all these criminal gangbangers and corrupted politicians. And now over 95% of the country loves this president. And there's still that 5, maybe 10% of criminals and those so-called human rights activists who fight for criminals. But 90% at least of the population of Salvador is happy they have a good ruler, a man of faith. He might not believe on the same way that I believe, but I can tell you that the moral values that he carries, he is a better man than I am. Believe that. And I appreciate that. And I only hope that I can also be one of those people in the future where I can say, man, I did something for my people. I did something for my country. You guys complain about Argentina's $20 to $40 billion investment, a loan that maybe we will never get it back. Maybe we will. There's rare earth minerals out there that we are taking advantage of. Milei, they saved the peso, the coin, the economy in Argentina, and he is also part of the 18 countries who joined the America's Counter Cartel. We have so many leaders that have joined here in the Western Hemisphere in the Americas. President Trump did that. President Trump is the one that took the dictator, Nicolas Maduro from Venezuela, which is now Venezuelan people now have hope for a democracy. President Trump is fantastic. Is he perfect? No, by no means. Maybe, is this war okay? Maybe not. But he's doing the best that he can, and I support it. I believe he's doing the best. Some of you, if you, listen, you're going to forgive me if you have some PTSD. I get it. Okay? I'm sorry. If you have that, I'm sorry. I do not blame your stupidity or your violence or your rage or hate. I get it. I don't have PTSD. I get it. But I've seen what it does. I have hugged soldiers, veterans, in my arms with PTSD. It's not cool. They don't even recognize themselves. So I know the hardship. I know the trouble. Believe it or not, my heart bleeds for these people. And I want to help my veterans. But I have to yell at you. I have to exhort you. I have to rebuke you, for your own good. I have to tell you that you need to forgive yourself. How do you do that? Forgive those that you hate. My prayer, as the Bible gives us, and forgive the translation because I only know it in Spanish. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Your kingdom come. Father, forgive me as I forgive those who sin and trespass against me. The word forgive my trespasses as I forgive those who trespass against me. Give us your daily bread, your word, the truth, uncoated, without sweeteners, bitter, whole truth. The bitterness that makes you cry, the one that breaks your will, the one that makes your soul shake. That daily bread. Do not let us fall into temptation. It's very important that you understand that if you are going to use Christianity against me, if you're an atheist, I feel sorry for you. But there is one thing. Jesus Christ is the Son of God, the only begotten Son. He became man. He bare our burdens, our sins, our infirmities, the sickness. He took everything from all of us. And even as he was praying and felt the bitterness and cried tears of blood of how stressed and scared he was in the flesh, the spirit was stronger. And he asked the Father, if this cup can pass from me, please. But Father, let it be your will. Meaning that the flesh did not want to comply. And yet he pushed through because he saw the suffering that we have gone through, what we are going through, and what we are going to go through. He is the beginning and the end, the Alpha and the Omega. Do you understand the mystery in that? He is all omnipresent, omnipotent. He is all-knowing. The Holy Trinity, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit, they're one. Man will never understand, but Jesus promises that in that one day, all the mysteries will be revealed. Blessed are those who are meek. Blessed are those who are weak, for God will strengthen them. Blessed are those who are selfless, because they have won their reward in heaven. God is good. God is good. God is good. Those who have ears to hear, let them hear what the Word of God says. May the Holy Spirit talk to you. May you welcome Him into your heart. You either belong to the devil or you belong to God, but the choice is yours. Amen. I want to go ahead and show you a video for all the libtards that come over here and tell me that I am lying about what's happening in Washington State. I call it the mass exodus. You already know I love Brandy Cruz. I sent her a message and I told her to don't give up. She has given up in Washington State. She's an investigative journalist. You have to understand something. When people care for things, they go deeper than somebody else. And it hurts more when you care. When you don't give a crap, it doesn't hurt. It doesn't hurt. But when you care, it hurts more. Have you noticed that when somebody is against you, that they don't love you, you don't love them as you would normally do a loved one? That when they hurt you, they make you mad, but you know what? It doesn't really hurt. It just makes you mad. And you get over it. And they betray you, and you're like jerks, assholes, libtards, double crosser. You can say all these things. And it just makes you mad. But the moment that you care for that person and they do that, it hurts. You got to see the difference. You can make fun of me all you want. It's okay. You can make fun of me all you want. That's fine. I told Robert not to be blocking people. You need to hear this. I hope that you heard something and that something gets stuck in your heart. And listen, don't say Dennis said. You got to do it. Only you can choose. Nobody can convince you. Only you can choose. But listen to Brandy really quick, and let's listen to what she says.
When you target people for taxation, people who are able to leave will leave. That's what's happening not just in Washington state, but across the West Coast. You are seeing a mass exodus of wealth to the East Coast, to states like Tennessee and Texas and Florida. You're seeing businesses pick up and move their entire infrastructure, which costs hundreds of millions, if not billions of dollars for some companies, because it's worth it to escape states like Washington. It's worth it to escape states like California and essentially start all over somewhere else. At the very beginning of the legislative session, you'll recall, I attended a press preview, and you'll remember at the time, one of the Democrats denied the reality that if they passed this, wealthy people would leave.
The idea that we have capital flight, I have not seen any evidence of that whatsoever.
And then as the income tax debate was happening for 24 hours yesterday, in the House, that same argument came up again. There was a Democratic lawmaker who said, oh no, millionaires aren't going to leave. That's not going to happen.
There's a myth floating around today and yesterday that capital will leave Washington, this whole concept of capital flight.
Literally, as she was saying that, Howard Schultz, the former CEO of Starbucks, was typing this, his goodbye letter to Seattle. This was posted mid-afternoon yesterday on his LinkedIn. I'm going to read the full thing because you know what? I think it's really important for Democrats to understand what they're doing and what is going to continue to happen. He said, 44 years ago, Sherry and I made the cross-country trip from New York City to Seattle in our 1979 Audi, along with Jonas, our golden retriever. We were starting a new life. Sherry would be the breadwinner in the family, taking on a career in design. And I started a new job on September 7th, 1982 at a place called Starbucks. Back then, the Pike Place Starbucks only sold whole bean coffee. Today, it's the most visited Starbucks in the world. The history of the company is bound up in the very foundation, walls, and floorboards of our first store in the city's historic market. The spirit of continuing forward has long underpinned our approach to life, in business, in philanthropy, and most importantly, as a family. For those of you who know us well, we have entered the retirement phase of our lives, a term we're both just getting used to. Last year, we traveled to dozens of places around the world, places we were too busy to see when building Starbucks and raising kids. And now we have moved to Miami for our next adventure together. We are enjoying the sunshine of South Florida and its allure to our kids on the East Coast as they raise their families of their own. Like many other Seattle-based companies, Starbucks today stands on the shoulders of the many Pacific Northwesterners who built the company. They help shape the culture, the benefits, and the brand, contributing to the civic, community, and public life of the city and state. It is our hope that Washington will remain a place for business and entrepreneurship to thrive, creating essential opportunity for those in Seattle and the surrounding areas. Over the years, as Sherry and I grew our family and built Starbucks globally, we were witness to the astonishing development of Seattle. We focused on doing our part to help those at risk and facing hard times in our city. In 1990, Sherry started the Schultz Family Foundation, launching critical work to help others in our community and beyond, work that has grown in scale and impact with each passing year. We have entrusted the leadership of the foundation to our friend and a mandate to accelerate our philanthropic investments to drive meaningful change. While our private family office will move to Miami, our foundation will continue operations in Seattle. We will forever be grateful for the memories made in Seattle and the relationships built along the way. To the family, friends, and partners who made Seattle our home for so many years, thank you. Onward, Sherry and Howard Schultz. He's gone. It's not a surprise to anyone with a brain. Him and Jeff Bezos can bask on Jeff Bezos' big yacht in Miami, where they're going to save hundreds of millions of dollars in taxes. Not only through the income tax on millionaires, but to avoid the capital gains tax, which is the reason Jeff Bezos left. By leaving, he saved $1 billion when he moved to Florida and sold stocks of Amazon.
And this is what the newly elected Socialist Democrat mayor of Seattle does right after she got elected.
Baristas are the heart and soul of this company, and they deserve better than empty promises and corporate union busting. That is why I am proud to stand with union baristas in their fight for a fair contract and for a union. That is why I am proud to join them on their picket line and proud to say loud and clear, I am not buying Starbucks and you should not either. And I would like to close with a message to Starbucks. This is your hometown and mine. Seattle's making some changes right now. And I urge you to do the right thing. Because in Seattle, when workers' rights are under attack, what do we do? When workers' rights are under attack, what do we do? When workers' rights are under attack, what do we do? Because
And I want to point out that, okay, so you hear, oh, the billionaire, let's tax the billionaire. Here's the problem. It takes money to continue to have a business. A business that's not making you money, why the hell would you have that business? It's okay to go and protest. Okay, I get it. All right? They want better pay. Well, guess what? To be a barista, the education doesn't have to be that hard. So you get minimum wage. You cannot raise minimum wage because then restaurants cannot afford to stay open. They depend on tips to be paid so that they can afford to have people even when there's hours of no customers coming in. They got to make money and have a fund for a rainy day. Businesses are not always booming. Businesses are like a roller coaster. They go up and they go down, up and down, up and down. The CEO, the owner, the CEO, the creator of Starbucks, he was not born rich. He testified on this. He was not born a billionaire. He worked his butt off and got what he has. If somebody wants money, they got to be able to go make that step. You know, listen, I have made so many decisions in my life. Sometimes I made a lot of money. Sometimes I did not make any money. Okay? But that's my decisions. If I was able to ever catch a break, oh, man, thank you, God. You know, I didn't know it was happening right now. Maybe I never will see wealth like that. But the point is that this is the newly elected mayor telling them to protest, making the Starbucks owner, the CEO of Starbucks, look like a bad guy. You see, Democrats, they make businesses look like they're the evil ones that don't want to pay more. But what the people don't understand, because there's such an activist mentality, they're so victimized. Their victimhood mentality just doesn't let them see that the reason why those businesses don't pay more is because the cost of living is getting really pathetic. Taxes, payroll taxes, cost of doing business taxes, more wealth taxes, your bracket changes if you have a great 2 months of business and all of a sudden you got to pay more taxes. Bruh, you know how easy it is? You know how easy it is? Like I can complain. Listen. I worked at this company where the owners were making some good money. Now, I'm not going to tell you how much, but they're making some good money. This business is started with an old couple in a garage. They started growing the business, and then they got some customers, and they got more busy, and eventually they passed down the small company to the sons. These sons got married. The women were, they moved. They know how to save. They know budget. They know how to work hard, etc. So they started building this company. It has recently gone from 300 some employees to double the amount of employees. Imagine that. That's fantastic. That is fantastic. While I work at this company, other people at my level, I was a lead, but other people in my level, they were complaining about the pay. And I was like, yeah, well me too. I want more money too. But I'm asking for what's reasonable. I'm asking for what's reasonable, understanding. And what's the difference? The other person might be asking what's reasonable, the part of how much these companies, at the level that this type of company is, their pay, I'm still under the average pay, okay? And so I understand asking for more money. I get it. But here's the bad attitude. The bad attitude is, oh my God, they just bought a new car. So what? Bless them. Give them a compliment. Oh, man, that's a nice car. Congratulations. Tell them to have more. You know what happens when you wish that wealth and that happiness to other people? You don't know how broke they are. You don't know what difficulties they're going through. When you go ahead and open your mouth to bless somebody, you bless them, but what you're really doing is blessing yourself. People always talk, man, you kissing ass. Oh, you're brown noser. Why? Because I appreciate how hard worker these owners are, how much money they invest on the employee. You think it's easy? Your ass comes over here and complains about standing all day. Oh my God, my feet. Oh, hey Bernie, you complain about everything all day and how good of a worker you are. Oh my God, the sacrifice. Oh my God. By the time you got home, by the time you get off work, you don't got to do nothing. Absolutely nothing. You just go home and you forget about your day. You go the next day and bitch and whine and complain. Wah, wah, wah. But I'm going to tell you something. That business owner does not get to go wah, wah, wah. That business owner, when you go home, you collect your money, that business owner has to continue to stress nonstop, has to continue to work nonstop. Do you understand? They got to maintain the insurance. They got to pay the bills. Big companies, the bigger the companies are, the more money they pay. And let me give you an example of how good it is to have these big corporations. Even if you're not making that much money, you have a choice to go somewhere else where they pay you that money. But let me tell you who actually benefits from these companies. Besides the employment that gets created by these corporations, you cannot be a selfish bastard. You got to be grateful when somebody gives you an opportunity. If you want to make more money, work harder, move up, get a promotion, go to another job. Stop bitching and whining and complaining that the boss, the owner of the company who's putting all this investment and sacrifice just got a new Tesla. Who gives a shit? Go tell them, hey, that looks very nice. One day I hope to be like you. Electricity. The electrical company gets paid by this corporation. Taxes, payroll taxes. Thank you, Bernie. Payroll taxes. The more employees they have, the more payroll taxes they got to pay. They got to pay every single bill, insurance, health benefits, unemployment, L&I. They got all these other covering things that they have to do. You go to work for one day and you get off work and you don't have to give a shit about the company for the rest of the day. But they have to live with it. I see the stress, the weight loss, and I see how they get. It breaks my heart. I don't care if you don't like rich people. I feel for people and I appreciate when they sacrifice their lives for people. They go on the floor and they serve food themselves. They don't pay somebody to do it. They go over there and they're so legit. They are so legit. When I put my name officially on that ballot on May, that is the first company that I am visiting. And I'm going to let them know that I am running for governor of Washington State. What can I do to help companies like yours? You provide work for over 600 employees. Because of you, 600 employees are helping their families. have food on the table. That employee probably has 3 or 4 more people to sustain. You're multiplying 600 by 3, 1,800 people. Every paycheck you are helping by being a corporate that keeps growing. The company makes $10 million. They're going to be taxed up the yin-yang. Do you know how much money they actually get to keep out of those 10,000, out of this 10 million, out of this $10 million? They get to keep about 3 to 4. And the expenses, their salaries is probably about $200,000 a month. But we're talking about the responsibility of over 600 employees. You ungrateful bastards on the left. Stop this whole tax the rich. You got choices. If you work at a place that pays you minimum wage, like a server at a restaurant, they only pay you $12 an hour, $8, whatever it is in your state and your city. Do your job, work your butt off, and fight for the people to give you tips. You can't get tips if you're out there and you're a horrible person. I used to be a server as well. I got magnificent tips. I don't know why. I was just me. And that was enough. Let me take a pause so I can thank my brother Bernie, the governor of California here in the 2030. The boss is the first one in and the last one to leave. The employees make clean the slate check. Sometimes the owner has no money but takes care of his workers. Being your boss, 101 ain't for everyone. Absolutely 100% I agree. I have done jobs as a business owner and I have made negative money. I ended up paying to do a job because I want my employees to get paid well. And I can't fly like that. You cannot maintain a business that way. I want everybody to have good pay. Listen, it's been in the 90s. My teachers used to tell me, do you want to be flipping burgers for the rest of your life? Meaning minimum wage. Minimum wage is not a livable wage. This is why they used to encourage education in college. In middle school, they force, like once you hit 9th grade, they give you this access to a trade. Would you like to be a mechanic? Would you like to be a carpenter? Some sort of like a photographer in a career? Like they would do trade classes. You had the option. And I remember when I was in my junior year and looking for careers, and I'm like, I want to be a gynecologist. Why? Because of what they do. I didn't even know what it was. All I know is that they were making about $100,000 a year. And I was like, whoa. In the 90s, $100,000? Hell yeah. Some other science or doctorate positions, $300,000 a year. Wow. Of course. And then what happened? Well, I graduated high school. I went to college for 2 years. Waste of time. I learned nothing in college for 2 years. So I understand. You live in a country where you are free. You make your money. You should be able to keep your money. Why do you side with tyrants that just want your money? For Pete's sakes, it's like people, they never understood history. Why did we get rid of the Brits? Why did we become independent? There was no taxes on us before 1913. And they said we're going to put taxes on the top 1% earners. And then now we all pay taxes. I don't care if you're happy in California paying state taxes. At some point, you didn't have to. Oregon doesn't have sales tax. Imagine that. I'm sure they pay more income tax to the state or the federal government. I don't know. But I know they don't have a sales tax. Our sales tax here has grown so much. The cost of doing business has grown so much, and the local government does nothing to help. And you heard President Trump on this speech today, and you heard the other person that's running for governor. He said, And I agree. We need to give the American workers more, let them keep more money in their pocket. We need to get tax cuts. There was a senator, I think it was, or a congressman that was saying that in his state they fought him because they didn't want to do like some sort of like a 7% tax, and then they went again and did a 6.5 and then did a 6.0, and they fought them. But every time it passed and it went down to like 5.5 something percent taxes. Don't quote me the numbers because I'm making these numbers up, but it was a very low tax. It's like half of the taxes that we pay here in Washington. And I'm going to tell you something. That, my friends, is a representative of the people. That is the kind of leaders that you have. You have to understand something. The reason why you go to a certain state is because of the opportunities. Just like, migrants want to come here, right? We love migrants, but they got to do it the right way. But everybody comes to this country because this is the land of opportunity. This is a place where you can go to work and make some dollars. Everybody knows that. But why are they able to see all this prosperity here in this country? Because of business-minded like people like Bernie. Bernie is a business-minded person. Hope de West, I believe, is also a business-minded person. Dosito is also a business-minded person. The family has businesses. I don't hate them because they got more money than me. I want them to make more. I want them to be blessed complete. I want prosperity, abundant prosperity for them. It's what makes the country go around. And I show you a clip, a very specific example. I show you an investigative journalist telling you about the taxes that are being increased. And I've been telling you for over a year. Increase of tax. Nobody wants to listen. You're going to run the rich people out of your state if you keep doing this. They say lies, liar, lies, lies. And then I show you that she's showing you a fact, proof. A billionaire, another billionaire, is leaving Seattle, Washington. And then you say lies. And then I play the clip of the new elected social democrat mayor of Seattle. And she's an activist. This is what's wrong with the libtards. She goes out there, joins the protest, the union. This is why I hate unions here in Washington. I think they're useless. Unfortunately, they have to happen because the government is also corrupted. And then the people pay the price. They have passed the governor has to sign it, but they have passed an income tax. We didn't pay that. That's going to be an extra 10% taken out of our money. Think about it. One tax that they're adding, 10%, my friends, all at once. If you choose to go to California, well, it's expensive. If you get used to that type of tyranny, that's fine. But we are used to living in a freedom, in a more comfortable zone. And because of their ineptitude, that they don't know how to maintain a budget, they don't know how to prioritize the things that they need to prioritize to continue to let American people earn more money, accumulate more wealth, be more prosperous. They tax and tax and tax. They just raised the taxes on everything here, 8%. Think about that. Property taxes, business owners, homeowners, they're leaving. There's too much money. They spent 30 years paying for this house, and they continue to pay for something that they already paid taxes and interest on, and they already paid off. They are being taxed for their own property ownership. Crazy. Inflation will continue to go up every year. But if we allow government corrupted politicians to continue to misuse our funds that we, the taxpayers, give the government, we will never see the light of day. And it's so very unfortunate. I cannot wait 2 years, man. It's tough. I hope if I don't become a governor in this state, I hope that at least the noise that I am going to make in that campaign is going to make these libtards wake up and hold the government accountable. Because I'm going to call them all out. I'm going to go find out who is illegal in the city council, who is illegal in the government offices. Nobody illegal should be serving and be taking a salary from the American taxpayer dollar. Oh, they're not going to like me. But I'm going to tell you something. The world will know the truth when we start campaigning. I cannot wait. I am so pumped. You have no idea. If you think I yell on my microphone right now, I am going to go mute. Just wait. When God gets a hold of the messenger, fire falls from heaven. I cannot wait. I gave you facts. I gave you proof. I try to put things together so that you understand what is going on here in Washington State, which can be happening in other states as well. I know in California there's a massive exodus. Another company is leaving California. This is why Bernal is going to run. This is why other people are stepping up on the Republican side. Why? Because the Democrats have been pooping all over this country, and nobody seems to care. Hey, Brenda. So you see what I'm saying? I can talk about this every day, all day. The facts are the facts. It's just there. Like I don't have to make anything up. I don't have to make anything up. I know that you see that happening in your area as well. And you can see if it really is President Trump's fault or if it's your government that is cheating you out of your money. I love it. Let me go spend some time with my wife. I want to say, God bless you. God bless your family. God bless the USA. Bernie, thank you for the $50. Appreciate the blessings. I will see you guys tomorrow, God willing. Have a good night.